The tables were, I think, 5 million.
Yes.
And your tables were usually sold out.
Yes.
You're saying you never made money from those concerts?
I didn't make profits from Serena because I delivered quality, because I had to bring in the likes of Steve Jean with the highest level of quality in production. So if you make 280 million and then Steve takes 190 or 200, then what about the venue? What about the rehearsal period of 6 months? What about the band? What about? So at the end of the day, that's why my brand was leaning on what people expect Bebe to present, rather than how much Bebe had in the pocket. So the conflict of interest is: are you looking for money or you're looking for a brand?
Okay, so do you want? You guys are pushing out the promoters. A promoter is looking for a meal. The artist is looking for a meal. How do we coexist, Isaac?
I think the promoters are pushing themselves out. Because if you're good at what you do, people are going to come to you. People will come to you, it doesn't matter. Between a very mediocre
promoters. Yeah, but they have to upgrade.
Exactly. You can see growth.
Yes.
When you look at Steve 15 years ago and look at him today, the guy has grown. You know, if you have a promoter, with 2006, we did not have a PA that can do Nambole, but for them, they were doing it.
Because this is a very deep topic, and there are so many other issues around music concerts that I want us to tackle. Let's fast forward to the issue we have right now. During the battle of Cindy and Sheba, we saw a new key player, Victoria University, come into the field of events. And everybody was asking, University, Ejidawa Muvivuru. So if we have people like universities come in, you will have somebody from the UPDF, my side hustle, you will have an agency. Lockdown Next Media was organizing e-concerts. Still, we are pushing out the promoter. Disruptive innovations.
I think one thing we have to understand is labeling ourselves promoter. This one is this. Now we call it promoter. Yes, I'll be promoting my own brand.
The difference
is only Mulimugwe.
Auntie, the difference is, when you have key players that come, like Bebe said, that their main goal is not the profit, it's the brand.
Yes.
We are bisana no brand. Now I know your send. You do not inject in the same amount of money.
Douglas, let me tell you something. Let us stop looking at these things on a small scale. Let us look at them on a wider scale. The more players come into the night economy grows bigger. Let's look at it in terms of the economy. So if the uni closes at 6 o'clock and then it has an event after 7 in the night, Uganda is one of the most fast developing countries today, and one of the main reasons is open marketing. Okay, people choose what to do, when to do. So the more people we get working at night, the better for the night economy.
Before we started this, Madam Yogani Salva, unveil weight of anything that Next Media is unveiling. Katigwe Salva, the who doesn't have money. Because the budget of this is equal to somehow a percentage. Zotekam concert. See the LED screens, invites, drinks, the experience. How are you going to survive in this business?
Listen,
competing against.
That is where our biggest problem is. Competing. This is an unveiling. Why are you competing to unveil? There's no need for you to compete. Do what you can. I have unveiled a show. The first show I did, the show before we did COVID, before we went into COVID, in 2020, when I did Kololo Airstream. My budget was 3 million Ugandan shillings.
3 million?
3 million.
To do a show?
To unveil.
Yes, to unveil.
That was the press conference. 3 million. From that 3 million, I paid journalists, name Nisa, decoration nga nayo kuki kweri.
Anti goli comedian wabanyumize.
Leave alone that. I did things within my means, but I did quality things within my means. I did have an LED screen. Naina backdrop. I didn't do my unveiling in the night. Kubanga nani matala najukura during the day. You understand? You also have to be smart. How can I compete with a big entity?
So wait,
like next media, because I want to show off.
When you say you live within your means or you do whatever in your
within
means,
your means, yes.
Here is another case study. David Lutalo was at Lugogo Cricket Oval recently. The messages that popped out after people seeing his stage, they were like, "Sha, David, ye kwata, ali greedy, acha tera uka stage akatini," because they had seen a big stage at the Cindy Shiba battle. So they expected a David Lutalo to do something of that magnitude. Actually, at a player Chikola, Victoria University, probably they were looking for the brand. Yes, Bebe Wakolachi, Wagamba. So Lutalo is competing against Oreo Muntu. How do you balance that?
The thing I say,
it's there.
So can you them live within your means, but provide quality.
JJ sounds had quality. People just complained about the size of the stage.
I think there's a conflict of interest again. It depends on all artists are different, and their fans that follow them are different. Oyinza, I'm very sure I'm a fan of David. If Steve Jean, you are producing David Lutalo, you must be very careful with that issue. Because Steve is going to come, Steve is going to put too much sound, too much screens, too much lights. Steve is going to come up with costumes that look, totally American. But then David's fans may be coming from a different direction.
But they also love good things.
What is happening in this industry today is what we have prayed for such a long time.
Okay.
We are growing and growing and growing. It began like a Bebe Cool at Serena. I remember everyone was like, Serena is only for jazz safari. Okay? So Bebe took, and I remember jazz safari used to charge 3 million. And then I told these guys, you know what? Why do I go for 10,000 people paying 10K in a field, yet I can go for 2,000 people, 50 tables, each table paying 5 million. So it came from a calculation. Then it also showed me that from the indoor, I can control sound, I don't have issues of weather, and then I can control light. So my production is now going to be super. So there were issues, but then even those issues have taught us as time goes by that, you know what, we can even go and build domes. Now from domes, we've seen guys are going back to the open fields. Spice Dana does her thing, and then from Spice, here we go for the battle where the stage is massive, and now wait for the next. So that's how an industry
develops. Okay, let me go to Isaac. We love the development. Big stage. In fact, I think I want to give thanks to Spice. Stage Giacola ku Cricket Oval. It caused a lot of talkability. And I think we went to the battle of Cindy and Shiba. Whoever was behind the production, Kadanke, was like, no, I need to disprove that.
Exactly.
And that's why I think the conversation here, David Lutalo, but I'm faulting her because they expected something equally big. But the challenge is, much as we want the development, the ticket price is still the same. Ogenda kuchivulu, chichali cha makeup, mutwalo. You have production, you have advertisements, you have to pay the artists, you have all these expenses. When you high kick and put it at 20, people don't turn up. Njakudai wa Bebe try to get a conversation, your pricing, your concerts. But how do we make sure we are developing but not running bankrupt?
Let me say something about this. We're not, and I'm sure most promoters will agree with me, we do not make money at the gate anymore. Those days are gone with Lucky Dube and Chalawa Wanchekecha. Yeah, they made bags of money. They made money.
So no one goes home. Today,
if you do an event and you have no sponsor, there's no way you're going to make money at the gate. Not today. Why 5 years ago?
Why is it that URA doesn't understand what you're saying?
No, they will, because they don't know.
But you know they don't understand what you're trying to say.
Know. You know, they come to our concerts. One time I had like 30 or 40 people, and I guess it's because of the artist was I'm too old. I forget. 24.
We understand. Just continue.
Billion chair. It was billion chair.
Yes, Alba, don't you
respect. So we have creative arts to educate URA, Ministry of Finance. Well, now, I don't
Isaac, I like the question. Recently, finding out, I found out that Comedy Store every Thursday stopped.
Yes.
And
Alex.
I called Alex Mohanj. I asked him, why did you stop? And he said, I stopped because of URA. Now, we have a problem we have to teach our government. We need to address this, I think, direct with the president on exactly what is the importance of having people do their part, their work, and research well. For example, that comedy night has so many people benefiting. Number one, you're seeing talents growing in comedy. That is one of the events that was growing the comedy, so that people can stop just watching musicians alone. Now we have the Salvadors. We have a fully fledged comedy entity. But then there are so many people who are employed on that single night. From the ones who cook, who do popcorn, to the guys who bring the chairs, to the owner of the tent, to the guys of the sound, to the DJs, to the 15-20 comedians per day, to the owner of the event. Now, when you stop Mohanji, I don't understand the logic. So I asked Mohanji to write a letter to the president, and I want to take that letter to the president straight myself, so that he can exempt comedy. Because comedy and music are the same. We need to be exempted, Bebe.
Or exempting the comedy in the
music.
Believe me, Papa Mesachi Aliko Serena, he had organized himself. Nebaja, Nebamubuza, where is your promoter? He had to go and look for Balunywa to help him coordinate the URA process.
Issue your music anyway. All artists need to learn what taxes are before they go to teach government what they are.
Why doesn't government start to learn what events are?
No,
before they come
the problem is not government. The problem is not government. The problem is you, Douglas, knowing everything about taxes when it comes to your art. Okay? Do you know, Douglas, that people do not know that when they pay taxes, they can get their tax returns at a certain time from URA. Do you know that there is a word called tax returns? What are tax returns? Do you know that if you import a car and you've been paying taxes, you can... Then secondly, if you're going to organize an event, better straightforward, okay? Be to be openly. Problem we already know we are going into losses at any network. You are Ojiraba, or Sobolo Gido, Jinga Brunga, Tosa Sudan Kumi.
Let me say something about taxes and events and everything. Our biggest problem and the biggest challenge is ignorance.
Exactly.
Ignorance from URA about events, ignorance from artists about what they should tax.
Exactly.
For example, I organize my own shows, not as Salvador, but as a company called Salfin Productions. That company, every year we file returns, but we do one show in a year. That is the year where we get money to pay tax, to pay salaries for the whole year for my employees. You understand? And they file income tax.
Yes, sir.
They file income tax. So where does you expect me to be able to pay my employees when the day I do it? One time they came to me And they said, Salvador, did you pay tax? I sat down with the guys and I asked, which tax?
Salvador is organizing. Because when you hear Bebe Cool organizing, it's not actually Bebe Cool organizing. It has always been Gargamel. But I had to go and register Gargamel. That is 22 years ago. So I have been operating as a company, not as Bebe.
Okay. If you've just joined TV right now, you're wondering what show is this? What are they talking about? Who are these guys? Okay, it's very simple, yeah? We are unveiling the next big thing in exactly 44 minutes, 55 seconds. What is the next big thing? That you're going to find out when that clock reaches 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. But for now, we're just speaking generally about the music experiences in our country, the challenges we face organizing these events. People watuleyo ne bakulabanga oyina drone shot ya ekifaananyi kya battle sindi ne Shiba ne baga Shiba katayi kazeeyo wakana akawumbi kasente. Kafko ayina kyawandika ku uncut smiling all the way to the bank. Omusajja n'atuula eri n'agamba smiling all the way to the bank. Realistically, you got all this money, took it to your bank account, saved it in there, but it's not the case. That's why we're trying to break it down for you, the viewer. Let's go to the other subject. We have international artists or concerts that are again competing with the local shows. You find in a month or in this artist, that artist from Nigeria, from US, from wherever. Surprisingly, those shows fill up. They are very costly. Abayimbi Abatanaaba in fact, the sponsorships from the corporate companies to these kind of shows is bigger than when Bebe, a local artist, goes to that company and sponsorship. 70, 80, 100 million because it's an international act. You, a local person, with 25, 15 million. Let's dissect the international concerts and the local concerts after the break. It is NBS. Let's come back. You know, because it's going to bring you 6,000.
Because scarcity creates demand.
Exactly. But this is an artist who cannot bring you 2,000 people, 3,000 people, asking you for that ridiculous amount of money.
It's because of what we positioned ourselves at that time. Gachen Kugambi, Salvador, I will bring an audience for you. Why? Because I've been scarce. Wanzalawa, because of my fee, and you went and got the other comedian at 1.5. Now Kukube Chivulu. So you will always refer to that comedian every time you get a Chivulu.
Okay. Let me go to Isaac. Isaac, should the artists start pricing themselves because they want to match up the international acts? Or Baba Sokebe Muzeko?
This is not only peculiar to Uganda. When you go to Japan, Boys to Men will be paid more than the local artist. There's that element. Even in the UK, if an international artist actually don't go to because you're international, that has some value that it comes with. But then also it's your brand and the person, how much are they willing to pay to associate their brand with yours.
You were part of the KCCA Carnival.
Yeah.
When Gravity stepped on stage and he insulted ED because of the pricing, because of giving Diamond lots of money, they were peanuts. How did you take that in?
It was drama. I actually wanted to throw him out.
Why?
And his manager. No, because to be honest with you, is he what the same as? Because you know people have got time, albums, and things that have built their brand. Usually people charge depending on their brand, how far they have gone, are they trending? You have to consider all those things.
Okay, Bebe, why do you charge so much money, even if person I can't afford you? On some of my events, the two guys money, is it? And Bebe has something he does. When you failed to agree on the price, he said that and he would come.
You see, for me, I've understood what makes money for me. It is my brand. Douglas, if you notice how long I've taken to build the responsible, clean, nice looking, driving big cars, which take a lot of fuel. You call me in your office to discuss, or you come to my office to discuss. Now, Japaland, Musajja Manuka Javuga, in your million, you mock to Kimberland. Katosa Pujana offer a million in bill, which they get the soko considering. And then, Omanye Bebe, in Yumba Jasulamu, a year already was Sulako, Asulanga, 5-star. Then what Jembarala, or in a Musuzanga 5-star, Togena Kunzista, Level and the one see. Kubanga, I would rather stay home than Gokumbo Nyabonya. Number 3, Douglas.
Yes.
Balinya nyonyi nengende Rwanda. Sisobola kulinya motoka kuva ku airport eri below emotoka gyentambuliramu e Uganda. It's either that same car or above. Ukitegedde. Then number 4, Douglas, we do put a lot of investment on brand. Era dama platinum. Sente zezisinga zigenze mu brand. Kakati, the issue here should be, how do we balance the local payment,
yes,
and the international payment? My suggestion is very simple. We need the local artists to be paid well, but we also need international artists to come in Uganda, because artists learn a lot from those guys. And then also we love the fact that the audiences don't be bored. Kwanga webabeera bokanga balaba local artists boka,
they get bored.
The industry bored. Then when we have an extra an import, there are new things, never funds, they get more agitated, so the industry is more competitive
and it grows.
So it is a matter of balancing. Bobo what the diamond emitwale ebiri ngajja. Then Jose Chameleone wa Bebe bwe bakusaba omutwalo tukulemerako, era nze nina event bbiri zisimbako wano ezisiba zireeta abayimbi. Nagamba bw'obanga osobola okuwa omu South Africa emitwalo ebiri egya dola, n'omusuza mu hotel, n'omugulira air ticket, expenditure is about 30,000. Bw'oba ogenda okutambula to come to me, bwe nannyini event eyo sajjogera linnya, you must have $15,000 Monsa Award without negotiation.
Thank you so much. I want to endorse and salute people that have partnered with us for this particular unveil, that is Fairway Hotel Asia.
Several reasons. First and foremost, there was a conflict of interest. Quality versus finances. Some of us as artists were going for quality. I wanted to sing on good sound, I wanted to perform well, but the promoter had to limit the expense and then provide substandard equipment so that he can save and take away a lot of money, profits. So for me, my brand as an artist was dying. So I decided I have to invest money in the concert instead of collecting money from a concert just to build the brand.
So you're not looking at profit for you, you're looking at the brand first.
There's a different way I was looking at the profit. I was looking at it brand-wise. Because then I would use the big brand to get the money. The biggest mistakes that artists do is they want to make money out of music. It is impossible in a 45 million country, it's impossible here. So, but then it is easy and possible to make money from a brand in even a country of 20 or 15 million people.